And like I said, even if you think they're $100 hour activities or $150 an hour activities, like, right, in terms of painting, moving paint, talking to customers, collecting checks, payments, all of these production related things, moving around ladders, picking up paint. I think I said that. These are all like $50 tasks, right? Meaning that you can pay somebody $50 per hour or less than $50 per hour, and they'll be able to do that task. And even if you do it, your business is only making about $50 per hour.
Welcome to the Painter Growth Podcast, where we help you scale your painting company in record time. Join us as we explore sales, marketing, hiring, finances, leadership, and more, everything that you need to know to scale and grow your painting business. I hope you enjoy and subscribe.
What's up, everybody? Mike Hickman here, founder of paintergrowth.com, and you're listening to the Painter Growth Podcast. How are we doing today? Guys, it's December now, and I don't know about you, but our house is looking like the North Pole. My wife is big into Christmas, and we got lots of decorations, and she loves it, so that's a lot of fun. I just started doing Elf on the Shelf with my kids. My kids are 3 and 5. They seem to love that. I never really heard much about Elf on the Shelf before, but it's pretty fun. Definitely keeps the Christmas spirit going pretty hard. So anyway, now that that's out of the way, guys, I want to help you make some more money. And what better way to make some more money than to be more effective with your time? I've said it before, I'll say it again. Time management is the number one skill that you need to be able to master to become an effective entrepreneur. And so my hope today, even if you've heard me talk about time management in the past, if you've heard me rail on Google Calendar and time blocking and all that stuff, even if you get one little tidbit or one like aha moment, one realization out of this, this will have been a good use of your time, right? Now, why do I feel like time management is the most important skill? Now, this is pretty easy because everyone has the same, 168 hours in a week, whatever it is, right? Realistically, everyone has the same, 16 hours in a day, let's call it. And it's how you decide to use those 16 hours that will determine whether or not you can be successful. And the really cool thing about owning a painting business is that the type of tasks that you do are very clear cut in terms of how much value they provide for the business, right? And so what you can just do is simply audit your time and be like, how much time am I spending doing $50 an hour activities? And like I said, even if you think they're $100 hour activities or $150 an hour activities, like, right, in terms of painting, moving paint, talking to customers, collecting checks, payments, all of these production related things, moving around ladders, picking up paint. I think I said that. These are all like $50 tasks, right? Meaning that you can pay somebody $50 per hour or less than $50 per hour, and they'll be able to do that task. And even if you do it, your business is only making about $50 per hour. And I look at that in terms of gross profit. So how much gross profit are you able to bring in your company every hour? So if your days are spent on production related activities, then you know what? You are going to like max out at $100K per year. Because if you take $50 times 40 hours per week times 52 weeks a year, that's $104,000 of gross profit that you can make doing it like that. Now, if you now subtract overhead, say you have $3,000 per month of overhead, your bills, your truck, your phone, your insurance, your other things that aren't variable, 3 times 12 is 36,000. So we have now, 3,000 times 12. You subtract that. Now we're only at $68,000, right? You take another 30% off of that for taxes. And now you are at $47,000. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't run a business to make $47,000 per year, right? We run businesses so we can make lots of money and have lots of time. But it turns out that as we run our businesses, we don't have time or money. So what are we doing, right? And if you can take care of your time, your money's going to take care of itself, right? You'll never learn to take care of your money if you can't understand or take care of your time. That's how important it is. But now, if what I want you to do is look at your time, be critical with yourself, expand your time horizon, which I'll explain what that means, and work towards the higher and higher impact activities like recruiting, like marketing, like sales, like leadership, like vision building, like goal setting and planning, right? Because the next level is a $500 an hour activity. And the way I look at that is sales, right? Sales and many other sales related activities. So if you do an estimate and your average job size is $5,000, let's say 3,000 just for simplicity. Your average job size is $3,000 and you close 1 out of 3. That means you're booking $1,000 per estimate on average. And at a 50% gross margin, that's $500. So every estimate, you're bringing in $500 of gross profit, right? There's some work that has to do after that, but that's neither here nor there. Ideally, you get to the point where you have a system that does that for you. Now, the next step is your $5,000. Actually, sorry, before I get to that, if you could fill your time with $500 an hour activities, and say even did 20 hours per week of $500 an hour activities, 20 times 500 times 52 weeks is now $520,000 of gross profit, right? It's crazy. And now, even if you take that and you subtract $5,000 per month of overhead, we're now looking at $460,000 of potential profit just by taking a half of your time and turning it into $500 an hour activities. Then we have $5,000 an hour activities, which is like recruiting. So recruiting is like, if it takes you 10 hours to hire a painter, and a painter can bring you in $100,000 per year of production, so $50,000 per year of gross profit. 50,000 divided by 10 is 5,000. So literally, if it takes you 10 hours to find a painter that sticks with you for a year, you're making $5,000 per hour. So then there's the $50,000 an hour activities, which are things like your marketing initiatives, your coaching calls with your coach, working on your business, things like that, which are going to have huge trickle down effects, assuming you're working on the right things. Now, it's very easy. It's like cool to think about, but when you're day to day, you're firefighting, you're looking at your company like, I got to talk to this customer, I got to pay this bill, I got to do this quote, I got to do this thing, I got to move this ladder, like all of these. I got to paint this house, right? I got to do all this like production related stuff. It's really hard to get out of that cycle and look at a longer time horizon. To look out at like 3 months out, 6 months out, next year. It's hard to think about that when you're thinking about today, tomorrow, next week. Right? So part of growing a business is inflating your time horizon before you need to and figuring out how to do that. So as an example, if you're painting right now full time and you want to get your business to that next level, well, you're not going to get your business to the next level by painting full time. You need to cut time off of the brush, take a temporary step back in terms of earnings so you can take that big step forward in terms of business growth. Right? You take that little step back so you can take that big step forward. Take 1 day off the tools a week, right? So think of it this way. If you take 1 day off the tools per week, 8 times 50 is 400. 4.3 is, 8 times 50 is 400 times 5 days a week is 2,000 times 4.3. Actually, no, so 8, just 1 day a week. 8 times 50 times 4.3. So you're potentially, if you take every single Friday off or every single Wednesday off of painting, even if you're the only painter, you're sacrificing $1,700 per month of gross profit, right? Or like 3,400 of revenue, but we don't want to look at revenue. We want to look at gross profit. So we're sacrificing $1,700 of gross profit per month, but instead, what do you gain? You gain 8 times 4.3. You gain 34 hours of your time back. Okay, and what can you do with those 34 hours? Imagine if half of those hours you were marketing and half of those hours you were doing the sales as a result of your marketing. So 34 divided by 2 is 17. So now you add 17 hours of $500 an hour activity. That's an extra. So you sacrificed $8,000, or sorry, you sacrificed $1,400 or something like that, $1,700. And now you're adding in 8,500 of gross profit. So 17 hours at $500 per hour is 8,500. So minus that 1,750 that we talked about before, that's an extra $6,000 per month that you can make by taking 1 day off of the tools and expanding your time horizon, because you're going to do that many more estimates. You're going to book that many more jobs. You're going to be able to hire some painters and get your time back. But you have to be able to make that leap prematurely, because that's what business is about, is taking calculated risks in the benefit of the long term. So if you're still stuck in today, tomorrow, next week, you're never going to be able to see long term. You're never going to be able to see past next month, which is going to affect your decision making. So if you're looking at your like day to day, how much did I make today? How much did I make? Am I going to make tomorrow? Not at how much do I want to make next year with my business, right? Or in the next 3. And you don't even have to look out to next year. How much do I want to make next quarter? What do I want next quarter look like? So if I'm doing 10,000 a month right now, but I want to do 20,000 per month, I'm not going to be able to do that by painting full time. I need to reprioritize my tasks, my activities, my time, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, how I'm spending my money, how I'm looking at money, how I'm treating my time, the habits that I have, so that I can have a longer time horizon. And guys, I'm not saying that you need to have a 6-month or 12-month or 3-year time horizon right away, but by having a 1 to 3-month time horizon, by being like, is this in the best interest of the business 3 months from now? Right? Things are going to change. And you'll realize that when you have time away from the brush, say every Friday you stop painting, or Thursdays and Fridays you stop painting and you only produce Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, now you have 16 hours per week to do marketing and sales. And if you don't know what you need to be doing during those 16 hours or 8 hours a week where you have time set aside for marketing and sales, check the link below this podcast. And that'll tell you exactly what you need to do with that time, step by step. So just check the link below, and you'll be able to do that. But ultimately for you, like, understand your time, understand what you're doing with your time, and then try to make the best decisions that are in the long-term benefit of your business. And a simple like ask that you can make of yourself is like, look at what you did in a day. It's like at the end of the day, you get home, right? Put the kids to bed, or maybe you get home after the kids are already in bed because you work so much, you don't even get to see the kids anymore. That's a problem, right? Ask yourself, did I treat today like a 7-figure business owner would have treated today? Did I act in the way a 7-figure business owner would have acted? And if no, if you realize you were firefighting, you were painting, you're moving down ladders, another simple question that you can ask yourself is, what needs to be true so I can live my life, live my days as a 7-figure business owner? Because you need to fake it before you make it, right? Firefighting and painting is never going to get you there. So you need to start doing the things right now to get yourself off the brush, so you have your time, so you can focus on those higher leverage activities. Okay. Now, with that being said, a few habits that you can implement right away, and I've talked about these before, but I'll give you a quick overview, is use a Google Calendar. If you're not using a Google Calendar every hour of every day, then you're wasting money, right? 7 and 8-figure entrepreneurs use a Google Calendar every single day. They know where they're going with their time. They know what they're doing. So I have my Google Calendar right on my home screen. Okay. So I know exactly what I'm doing every day before the day starts. And at the end of the day, I look at my calendar and see if I did everything, if I got everything done. And if at the end of the day, my calendar doesn't look like my day actually looked, I change it to make it reflect my actual day and move anything I didn't get completed to the next day, right? Really, really simple to get set up, right? If you need help setting it up, that link in the description here is going to help you, give you a guide on how to set up your Google Calendar. The next step is putting in high leverage activities into that calendar. So a simple to-do list is all you really need. There are more sophisticated ones, leveraging, measuring how urgent things are, how much time they're going to take, the value to the business, who needs to do it, SOPs, processes. We can get to that eventually, but step one is simply having a to-do list. You can open this on your notes app on your phone. Apple has it, Samsung has it. So I just have, like, on my phone, just I just updated. So your simple note app, and go to have a to-do list. And then in that to-do list, you're going to be able to just, whenever something comes up or whenever you're working through videos or training and you have activities that you need to action, you just go in your to-do list, write down those activities and like how many hours it's going to take, right? And then when it comes time to action those things, you can look at your to-do list and literally place those items that you need to do in your calendar. This is called block scheduling. So if this is going to take a 2-hour block to set up this whatever marketing initiative or to like do these interviews or whatever, like you take a 2-hour block and you put it in your calendar on like your Thursday or Friday when you're not painting, when you're working on your company. And then when Thursday comes, it's not like Thursday comes, now I have a whole day to work on my business, I don't know what to do. But you can see from 8 to 10, work on recruiting initiative. From 10 till 11, create strategic marketing initiative with these, assets, reference, whatever, to make it actionable. From 1 till 4, create recruiting ad and post on Indeed. From 4 till 6, estimates, whatever it needs to be. But that's block scheduling, so that when you get to that day where you have time to work on your business, you know what you need to do and you know what your highest leverage activities are. Okay. So we have Google Calendar, have it on your home screen, look at it multiple times every single day. Then we have your days off, so you can expand your time horizon. It's not a day off, it's a day to work on your business. Set the expectation with the homeowner. Hey, Mrs. Jones, I know that we said we're going to get the project on Friday, but I actually have office work I need to do today, or I just have actually some strategic business things that I need to action today, and I'm gonna be back on Monday. Okay, so set the expectation with the homeowner. They're typically fine with that if you just communicate with them and explain why, right? And the third thing that I want you to do is just think out at the end of every single day, did I behave today in the way a seven-figure business owner would behave? Did I do what a seven-figure business owner would do? And if not, then you need to really take a good hard look in the mirror and see what needs to change, because it's not going to change on itself, right? You will not become a seven-figure business owner by painting 5 days a week. That's just how it is, right? If I were to start my painting business today, I would never paint a single second, right? If I were to start over, I would hire the people I needed because I would leverage money to save time. I would hire a production manager who would hire painters. I would hire a sales rep who would do full cycle sales. I would hire a door-to-door team, hire a marketing agency, invest, $30,000. But you know what? I would invest that $30,000 and we'd scale up to 100K per month within 6 months, because I can invest capital and knowledge instead of investing my time. And that's a very important distinction. So work on increasing the amount of hours every single week that you're working on higher and higher leverage activities, so that you can ultimately maximize your time and build a business that makes money, that doesn't require you pushing paint every single day. All right. Like I said, if you're struggling with this and you want to become a seven-figure business owner, just check that link below the podcast today. It's really going to help. All right, guys. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Painter Growth Podcast. If you want to grow your painting business, go to www.paintergrowth.com or click on the top link in the description. Talk soon.